So this video is going to be something new for this channel. A full tour of all of the animals that I currently have. And I'm making this video for two reasons. First reason is a few people have asked for it. And a few more have asked for more content like this, like voiced over content. Like feeding videos or husbandry videos, which I could certainly do. However, what pushed me to actually make this video is the second reason, and that reason is I broke my macro lens for the second time, and this time I don't think I can repair it. I can still film with it, but only at 1:1 magnification or close to 1:1 magnification, and this makes producing videos really hard, and I either can do no videos until I save up enough money to get a new lens, or I can do this sort of video that I'm shooting with a normal zoom lens. The image quality will be lower. The audio quality, as you probably have already noticed, is also not that great because I'm using the internal microphone of the 7D, which is, honestly, it's crap. I'll do what I can to fix it in post-production, but don't expect much. So yeah, either this sort of stuff or no videos for a few months until I get a new macro lens, or more likely invest in a new camera system that I want. Tell me what you think about this. If you like the idea of me doing videos like this, tell me in the comments. If you don't like the idea, if you absolutely hate this or you hate listening to my voice, also tell me. And if enough people say no, we don't want this kind of video on this channel, then I'll stop doing these videos and just wait until I have a new camera. Right, so now that this is out of the way, let's start right over here. First thing you notice is this huge mesh cage, and wait, you can't see anything, let me open the thing. And it's one inhabitant, an adult male Idolomantis diabolica, which is right back there. And if you're wondering about the color, they don't have the adult color until a few weeks after the adult molt. It takes time for them to get to their full color. I had 4 of these. Sadly, both of my females mismolted and are no longer with us because they were really bad mismolts, so I had to euthanize them. So I'm left with 2 males, and one of them is in here. The other one is actually in with the Heterochetas, because he was getting active after his adult molt, and he started disturbing the other one, and I was afraid he might make him mismolt too. Which hasn't happened. He has molted successfully to adult just 2 days ago. And some of you might have already spotted the second inhabitant, which is a Heterocheta orientalis, which is hiding right there. This is a sub-adult male, which I took out of the Heterocheta enclosure when I put the Idolomantis in and put him in here, so he has some, so he's not disturbed while molting either. And I don't really know what to do with these male Idolomantis, because getting a female, an adult female, is pretty much impossible, and even if I could get one, the price is simply too high for me. So I'm probably going to sell them to another breeder, if I can. Okay, so further down, this entire corner is basically the warm corner where I keep everything that wants it pretty hot. I put 2 Grammostola pulchra slings here, because maybe with the additional heat that they're getting from back there, they're gonna grow a bit faster, because Grammostola pulchra is a notoriously slow growing species, and I wanted to see if I could maybe speed up their growth a bit. And it seems to be working. They're both eating very well. They molt about every 2 months at this size, which I'm pretty sure is quite fast for them. Also here is an animal that you might recognize. To the left here is the Monocenthropus balfouri female that you maybe know from the mating video. Actually, let me take this out to show you. So she molted again after the mating, but the male was still very fit, so I mated her again. And this time I think it worked, because she has completely closed off her burrow and put dirt in the entrance. And I'm not sure if she has built an egg sac yet, but I'm expecting one now. Or she molts again, one of the two. I can actually look in there. I've got this kind of rigged up here where there's a little hole where I can look in. But I can't really film in there because I also need to shine a flashlight in there. But so far she hasn't built anything yet, so still, fingers crossed, I'm hopefully getting an egg sac from her pretty soon. Then down here I have a colony of roaches, Eublaberus ivory. Very pretty as adults, also very large, quite a bit larger than dubias. And slower breeding as well, which is why I got them originally. I had a dubia colony here, but they were breeding so rapidly I got rid of them because I didn't want to control their numbers or freeze large numbers of them. I simply don't feed enough dubias to justify a colony that large. So I gave them away to another breeder which has a lot more animals than I do. So he can use them, and I got these instead, which are slower breeding, bigger, and also prettier. And then back here, that thing directly under the lamp is a colony of another feeder I have, Thermobia domestica, which is like a silverfish that likes it really hot. So if these escape, they can't actually reproduce, so they don't become pests, but I have these because I need them for some of the more specialized animals that I have. Right, then the main event basically over here. And let's start with something that I can't actually show you, which is the big centipede in here. You might know this one from the centipede feeding video. This is the Scolopendra galapagoensis, my biggest centipede. Always was and still is. She has burrowed herself though, probably to molt about a month ago, and it could be another month or so before she re-emerges. So when she re-emerges, she will hopefully be about 30 centimeters, which is about a foot long. When she burrowed herself, she was just slightly under it at about 27, 28 centimeters. It's very hard to actually measure them. So yeah, nothing to show in here. Then let's go up one to here, which is where I have my juvenile female Poecilotheria formosa, which is in pre-molt, which is why her butt is so huge. And bit of a strange spider. During the day she's always out like this. I'm very happy for that. But during the night she always goes into her cork tube and then stays there the entire night. Also, she has decided to not poop on any of my plants or decorations in there. As you can see, it's all clean. No, instead she only poops on the front glass here, which is easy to clean but makes it look very bad after just a few days usually when she poops on it again. Then over here we have the exact opposite. In here is a female Heteropoda boyai, or boyer, I have no idea how to pronounce the man's name. But she poops on everything in here that is decoration, but not on the glass, because the glass is completely clean. Except for her marks where she secures her safety strand. Also, she has built an egg sac. Originally I got a male of this species because the males look absolutely spectacular. Then I found out it was a male, so I bought a female, and now I no longer have a male, but I do have an egg sac, so we'll see what comes of that. I'll let her keep the thing, because I think she knows better than I what's good for the eggs. So yeah, we'll see what happens. He was in there almost a week until he became her snack. Then down here is something that you might recognize. Down here is the colony of Psittala horrida, or giant spiny assassin bugs, of which I sent some babies to Petco from the Dark Den. And there's a whole lot more of them in here. You can't see many of them right now, but I'll include some shots where I take out some of the pieces and show you how many babies are actually in here. There's about 15 adults in here as well, and one of them is out back there, which usually means he's hungry, or she. So let's try to feed him. They react to movement, by the way. Ah, too slow. So this colony needs a lot of food. About 15 large crickets for the adults every week, and then I don't even know how many flies I feed the babies. I'm feeding flightless houseflies, these here, because these can't actually harm them. If I were to feed them with something like crickets, the crickets would probably eat a lot of the molting babies, so I have to use something that can't actually harm them at all, which flies can't. And it's starting to get out of control, because I have 7 or 8 females in there. I don't know exactly how many. And they lay about an egg per day, so at this point I get 7 or 8 new babies every day. Yeah, I might start selling these soon, but yeah, packaging and sending packets all over Europe is still a bit too much work for me at the moment to bother with, especially because these aren't particularly expensive, at least in Europe. In America you can ask something like $20 for one, but over here it's more like 4 to 5 euros for a baby. So moving on, over here, more animals you might recognize from my other videos. This is the pair of, or this was the pair of regal jumping spiders, Phidippus regius, that I had. In here the female and in here the male. They have gotten quite old, almost 3 years, about 2 years and 7 or 8 months. So they got older than I expected. But the male died, and the female, after producing about 7 egg sacs, I think it was, after producing about 7 egg sacs, also eventually died. All of these hatched, by the way, and I sold all of the babies, but still, that's quite the number for such a small animal. Okay, then up here, Chilobrachys fimbriatus, female. Probably adult now, she's pretty big. Here's her hide, which she completely ignored and instead built this. Comes out quite a lot actually, and then sits right in front here. And this is one of the terrariums that I have, which has red LEDs above it. So I can watch her at night, which is very cool, because she's actually quite active. She webs a lot. Especially over my plants, which she completely killed, of course. Then one over is a female whip spider, Damon diadema. I had 2 of them. One of them died, maybe of old age, I'm not sure. She was definitely adult size, and it was a wild caught animal, so yeah, probably died of old age. This one's still around. Might show you some night footage of her, but not much to see during the day. These are really not fond of light, so during the day they will never come out. You can only see them at night. Sadly, the camera is actually really bad at picking up this pure red light. It looks really weird. You have to trust me, you can actually see a whole lot better with your own eyes than this camera can. And then one further to the left, Acanthoscurria geniculata, also a female, also a juvenile. Recently molted, she has gotten quite big and quite bold after her last molt. Before she almost always was hiding down there in her burrow. Now she does come out quite a lot. In fact, she sits out pretty much the entire day. I'll try to include some feeding footage of her too. Then let's go back up over here to the newest animals I have, which are 5 Sibylla pretiosa, which is a pretty small but also very cool looking mantis. And people are very split about if you can keep these in groups or not. A constant food supply is apparently very important for them, and I can provide that, and a lot of people probably can't, because these really only will eat flies and nothing else. However, I do have a constant supply of food that I can give them, so hopefully this works out. Then over here, now from the pretty terrarium to the right to this ugly thing here on the left, yeah, this is sadly a completely practical setup. No aesthetics whatsoever, because this is a species I really wanted to breed, and this is Metalyticus splendidus. It's absolutely amazing metallic mantis, and I have actually managed to breed them, and I've got about 30 or so babies now, which have just hatched in the last few days. So I'm very excited about that. Hopefully I can raise them too, because apart from me, I know of exactly one other person that has managed to breed them, and that is the person that I got these from. So yeah, quite rare and quite different from a normal mantis. Wait, actually I think I see more babies in there. Yep, can you see them all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so definitely new batch has hatched, so Neotheca has hatched, so I'm gonna have to get them out of there pretty soon and transfer them. I could actually leave them in there because they have food. They are so small, they eat springtails at the moment, and there's enough springtails in there for them to eat. However, I would like to have a bit more control over and check on them more. Ooh, that was unexpected, nice. Then down here I actually have the other Metalyticus species that is currently being bred in captivity, and again, completely practical setup. Looks awful, I know, but I set it up this way because this way I can very easily check on them. I can see how much they've eaten and which ones have molted. So I have 8 of these. I started with 10, 2 died, so I have 8 now. The males are adult, the females not yet, but should be soon, and then I can hopefully start breeding these two. By the way, of the Metalyticus, I forgot in the excitement of new hatching babies. I had 6, 3 males and 3 females. However, this is the last female that is left. The others all died over the course of the last few weeks. They don't get very old like any other mantis. Okay, then over here is the other net cage that I promised had the other Edelomantis in. I can't spot him at the moment. Where is he? Oh right, down here. Okay, so you can see he has almost the full adult colors now. And then there's another adult female Edelomantis from the latest video. That's her right there. And then there's an adult male which also molted just 2 days ago now. So I'm hopefully expecting some mating action from these in a few days as well. So over here is the baby corner, where I have most of my tarantula slings and a few other spiders. These here are two Linothele megatheloides, which is a diplurid spider. Most of the net you see in these was built in just one night, and after that they have reinforced it mostly. Very good eaters, fast growers, don't get quite as old as tarantulas, but they're still mygalomorph spiders, which means they do have a lot longer lifespan than araneomorph spiders, which is all other spiders pretty much. And then over here, this was a freebie that I got with my two Linothele. It's an Ischnothele, also a diplurid, though a very small one. The Linothele, they do get quite big, but this one, this guy stays very small. Not even sure I can show you this guy without a macro lens, so I'm gonna include some macro footage of him because he's very small and it's a male. Then I've got Caribena versicolor, which I've confirmed is a female, so I lucked out because I only have one of those. I've got two Poecilotheria metallica slings, both freshly molted just a few days ago. I suspect this one is male. I'm not sure about this one yet because this one's a bit smaller. Though I might be unlucky and both of these are males. We'll see. Then back here, whoops, two Cyclosternum fasciatum, which is what they were sold to me as. Of course, in reality, this is neither Cyclosternum nor fasciatum. This is Davus pentaloris. I still have to change the labels, but I'm too lazy. Back here, Ephebopus cyanognathus, blue fang tarantula. Very cool species. Pretty fast growing, actually, I found. Then Lampropelma borneo black. I really like these guys because they eat like machines, and I actually see them quite a lot for Lampropelmas. They do come out of their little hidey holes. And then a Lampropelma nigerimum, which I got as a freebie with these two. They're almost identical. Honestly, I can't tell the difference even in the adult pictures. Then in the very back, Chromatopelma cyaneopubescens, a very small sling, which is very slow growing. I've got another one that grows much faster. I have no idea what's wrong with this guy. Maybe he's just slow, I don't know. In here, Heteroscodra maculata, a female. I also lucked out on that one. I've got two, I gave one away, and the one I kept randomly, I chose randomly which one I was going to keep, is a female. In here, Tapinogenius violaceus and Lampropelma violaceopus. You might have noticed I have a thing for blue and purple spiders. The Lampropelma is also definitely a female, so more luck for me. Can't believe how lucky I actually got with all of these. Because I bought them as very small slings, unsexed of course, and most of them are actually female. Okay, then further down here, where it starts getting a bit darker, camera has quite a bit of noise at these light levels. I'm very sorry about that. In here is the other Chromatopelma cyaneopubescens, much faster growing. It's almost 3 times the size of the other one now, even though I got both of them at the same time. And they were the same size. Then next to that, Naphonopelma zeemani, the blue form, has completely closed off its burrow and is going to molt pretty soon, hopefully. And in here, already coming out during the afternoon, Psalmopoeus irminia, one of the coolest looking spiders on the planet. And then behind these is basically really small baby storage. I got all of these, except these to the left here. I got all of these in exchange for about 50 of the Phidippus regius slings. So there's 4 Pterinopelma satsimi slings here. Very small. Though starting to turn very lightly blue, even at this small size, which has surprised me. And then there's 8 Nando colorato villosum slings at about the same size, which are also starting to get their adult coloration. Or at least you can see You can see the bright bands on their legs. Of course, I'm not going to keep all of these. I will sell them at some point. But until they have a decent size, I'm keeping them as long as I can. And then these are baby centipedes, Scolopendra subspinipes, which is not anything terribly exciting normally, but these are from a very cool color form, which the seller was calling something like bright cherry red or something. I've seen the parents, they are really very red, and the real reason why I got them is they get huge for subspinipes at least. They get to the size of Dehani, which used to be a subspecies of subspinipes, so maybe these are going to be their own species too eventually. But yeah, very bright red as adults. As babies, of course, they look completely different, but very big form of Scolopendra dehani, and I've got 4 of these as well. And then down here, in these boxes, which have a lot of ventilation, my Avicularias. We've got an Avicularia purpurea, small baby. We have got an Avicularia amazonica, more specifically Amazonica Manaus, which is a city in Brazil where I assume the parents came from, and one Ubirapora diversipes. I used to have 2 of these, of course, but one of them I also sent to Petco at the Dark Den. Then over here we have one more tarantula sling, a Pamphobeteus nigricolor. Really mean little guy. Eats pretty much everything that moves, kicks hairs at every opportunity. Really nice spider. And below him is the only other centipede that I have at the moment, and that is an Ethmostigmus trigonopodus. You all probably know I had a lot more centipedes just 2 years ago. However, I had to get rid of most of them because I was moving and I did not have a lot of time with university and moving, and I didn't have really, I couldn't care for them properly. So I got rid of most of them, I sold them, and I only kept 2. One of them being this Ethmostigmus trigonopodus, and the other one, the big Scolopendra galapagoensis. This one is also a female, which I know because she recently laid some eggs and then ate them again because they were unfertilized. So I'm looking to get her a mate pretty soon, hopefully. These are quite hard to come by, especially in the completely blue-legged form. And then over here are a few scorpions. I only recently really got into scorpions. A friend of mine who's really into them recommended these, Rhopalurus junceus. I've got 6 of them, and they are supposedly communal, at least as adults. These are pretty small juveniles. However, when they get larger, I'm gonna put them all together. We'll see how that goes. And then finally, over here, there's a few more oddballs that I have here. Here's a juvenile Pterinochilus murinus, an OBT, which is, I mean, for an OBT, this one is quite nice actually. She's not that aggressive. And it's a she, I lucked out again. And then the rest is all more mantids. This is a very small mantis species that you haven't seen in any of my videos yet. This is Hania orlovi, also known as the moss mantis. I've got 3 adults, 2 adult males up here, these 2, and an adult female, and then there's a sub-adult female here, which should molt any day. Very cool looking, but again, very small. Even as adults, they still eat fruit flies. And then over here, these 6 are the 6 Theopompa zevilli or zevillae that I have, which are growing quite nicely. Now they need pretty special conditions. They don't like it warm, but they like it very humid. But still, like every other mantis, these still need a lot of ventilation, so it's actually quite hard to accomplish. But it's going well. I have not lost a single one so far. And then lastly, here is where all the baby Metalyticus are. I can open this and show you. Or maybe I can't show you because these are absolutely tiny. And they eat springtails at the moment, so... yeah, they're too small to eat small fruit flies. So... but I've got about 30 of them, and I still have to get the others out, so I'm gonna have about 40, I think. Right, so that's it. That's everything I have at the moment. If you like this sort of content, let me know. If you don't like it, also let me know. And I'll see what I'm going to do in